This audiobook unveils the concealed secret existence is not rigid, but dynamic, molded by your convictions and perception. You have already sensed this force in instances when the improbable turned real. Now you will master it deliberately and alter existence to your advantage. The existence. Introduction. Deep within your essence. A realization awakens a timeless acknowledgement of a strength that has forever belonged to you. The cosmos in its boundless insight has led you to these holy lessons at exactly the proper instant. What you are about to uncover is not fresh information, but instead a recollection of what your spirit has eternally known. Existence is not the firm, immutable power you have been taught to accept. It is as adaptable as liquid, as shapeable as soil. In the grasp of one who comprehends its genuine character, the barrier between what exists and what might exist is slimmer than a sigh, more fragile than dawn fog. You have caught sight of this fact in those remarkable instances when duration appeared to curve, when synchronicities arrange so flawlessly they could not be simple luck. Maybe it was when you considered someone and they materialized, or when you required something urgently and it appeared suddenly. These were not mishaps. They were your initial unaware strides into your authentic strength. The elders mention this skill in hushed voices, safeguarding it through emblems and allegories. They realize that existence reacts not to pressure, but to the delicate vibrations of awareness itself. Every idea, every emotion, every inhalation holds the capability to reform the environment around you. As you accept these instructions, you will realize that you are not distinct from the cosmos. You are the cosmos manifesting itself in mortal shape. The strength to alter existence resides not in some outer power, but in the core nature of who you are. Sacred exercise the instant of strength. Shut your eyes and permit your thoughts to wander back to a period when all converged. Ideally, recall the sensation when the unattainable became attainable, when existence appeared to yield to your wishes. Observe the feelings in your form, the nature of your ideas. The fabric of that instant. Allow this recollection to envelop you entirely, now maintaining that sensation. Acknowledge that this was not fortune. It was your innate skill surfacing sense. The reality of this in every particle of your existence. This is who you genuinely are. A deliberate shaper of existence, rousing to your intrinsic strength. Bear this perception with you. Let it permeate every inhalation, every idea, every instant. You are not acquiring something novel. You are recollecting who you have eternally been part. 1. Rousing to the altar. Chapter 1. Existence is not what you assume in the old manuscripts. There is narrated a story of Leora, a wisdom hunter who traveled to the borders of the familiar realm. There, where the vapors of existence thin out, resided a wise one named Ether, whose knowledge was claimed to surpass the limits of common insight after traversing wastelands and ascending peaks. Leora at last stood before the wise one's modest abode, weary from the voyage, yet aflame with resolve. Leora inquired, "Reveal to me the essence of existence." Ether's reply was not in speech, but indeed with a soft gesture of her hand. The realm metamorphosed. The heavens flowered into hues of indigo. Unseen by human gaze, the shrubs once firm and static twisted into splendid silver spirals that swayed in improbable designs. Existence, Ether murmured, is what you trust it to be. In a flash, the realm reverted to its known shape, but Leora would never perceive it identically again. This fact has resounded across eras. Existence is not set, but dynamic, formed by the force of awareness itself. What you sense as solid and unalterable is simply the present configuration of endless potentials secured by your convictions and anticipations. Ponder the account of Professor Elena Voss, a particle scientist whose career rested on the base of strict empirical research for 25 years. She rejected all that could not be quantified by her devices, until one afternoon in her workshop, she beheld something that shattered her grasp of existence. During a test on quantum linkage, She noticed atoms acting in manners that challenged not only the rules of science, but the core of feasibility itself. The atoms shifted as if answering her ideas, forming designs that aligned with the formulas she had merely conceived in her thoughts. In that instant, Professor Voss's meticulously built perspective collapsed. The divide between watcher and watched vanished, disclosing a fact she had refuted her whole profession. Awareness forms existence. Her years of doubt had been the exact power preventing her from observing the authentic character of being. Locate a serene area where you will not be interrupted. Shut your eyes and travel back to an instant when your view changed radically. Perhaps it was a period when you abruptly viewed a circumstance from an entirely distinct angle. And in that flash, everything altered. Or possibly it was when you understood that a restriction you had embraced as fact was simply a conviction you had been bearing since. How that change in view modified not just your inner realm, but the outer existence surrounding you. Observe how situations, connections, or chances evolved the instant you altered your sight of them. This is the strength you possess, the strength to reform existence through the prism of your awareness. Your view is not inactive. It is the dynamic power through which you generate your realm. Chapter 2. The Watcher's Force. You are the designer of existence. In the tranquil valleys of an unnamed hamlet resided Eli, a budding painter whose talent stretched far past ordinary skill. Each dawn she would position before her empty easel, her brush held between digits that appeared to throb with inventive vigor. On this specific sunrise, she started to paint the contours of a garden, basic lines that followed the form of her fantasy. As her brush glided across the canvas, something remarkable happened. Each stroke she made glowed in the atmosphere before her, assuming shape in the tangible realm. The soil rose from the ground. Flowers bloomed like evening dew, crystallizing into petals, and paths formed as if crafted from stars themselves. With every motion of her brush, the garden constructed itself, changing from concept to substance, until she stood amid a paradise that seconds prior had dwelled only in her thoughts. This fact rests at the center of invention. You are not just witnessing the realm around you. You are summoning it into presence through your aware perception. Every instant of focus, every concentrated idea forms the existence you encounter. Contemporary particle science has revealed what the old seers always grasped, that the deed of watching essentially changes the watched. When researchers observe atoms at the particle level, the simple deed of observing modifies their conduct. This is not figure of speech but quantifiable truth. Your awareness is not passive. It is the force through which existence appears. In the peaks of Himalaya, there dwelled a sage named Rinpo, whose command of this fact had attained mythic levels. Visitors recounted seeing him change the direction of winds without moving a limb, directing the breeze through sheer perception. When his disciples questioned how such accomplishments were feasible, he would grin and state, "The wind and I are not apart. When I perceive truly, it moves as I move for 35 days. He instructed his disciples to discard their delusion of division from the realm around them. Existence, he would declare, yields not to pressure, but to pure vision. When you truly comprehend that you and what you watch are unified, the realm shifts with you as effortlessly as your own exhalation." What Rinpo grasped, and what particle science now confirms, is that awareness is not confined within the thoughts. It is the very material from which existence is interwoven. Your focus is the strand, and your perception is the pin sewing together the fabric of being, instant by instant. Let us now participate in an old exercise of aware invention. Locate a calm area and shut your eyes. Envision grasping a pen of pure radiance. Chapter 3. The Particle Key of Altering. In the core of an old bazaar where aroma-filled air blended with the shouts of vendors dwelled a merchant named Farid. Each dawn he would navigate the known routes between his stall and residence, his thoughts filled with deals and exchanges. Yet on this day, something changed in his habit. A murmur of alteration in the edge of his sight. Between two aged structures, a pathway emerged where none had been before. Farid halted his interest, pulling him toward the slim corridor as he entered its darkness. A odd feeling enveloped him, as if existence itself had turned liquid. When he came out on the opposite side, the realm had gently transformed his stall. Once humble, now extended across choice location. In this sequence, he had decided to pursue growth rather than caution. Intrigued, Farid followed his steps back through the corridor. Each passage disclosed another variant of his life. One where he had followed artistry instead of commerce. Another where he had explored lands as a voyager pioneer. The pathway was not just a route through area, but a portal between the boundless variations of his presence. This narrative discloses a basic fact about existence. All feasible versions of your life coexist at once, like innumerable broadcast channels transmitting simultaneously, just as a receiver captures only the wave to which it is adjusted. Your awareness undergoes the existence that aligns your inner wave. Your ideas, convictions, and feeling condition. The particle character of presence implies that every decision, every option generates its own sequence. These sequences are not far or divided. They are present now, overlaid upon each other like layers of silk. Your strength resides not in generating fresh existences, but in adjusting your awareness. To undergo the existence you select. In the wide stretch of the desert, a nomad named Sarah encountered herself adrift in a sandstorm. Her tiny tent battered upon furious dunes beneath a sky dark with dust as terror seized her soul. The sands grew more fierce, the gusts more savage. Then, in a flash of insight, she recalled an ancient lesson. The external realm echoes, the internal drawing a deep inhalation. Sarah started to soothe her ideas with each outbreath. She let go her terror. With each in-breath, she welcomed serenity. Slowly, astonishingly, the storm started to subside. The dust cleared, unveiling stars that directed her to secure refuge through altering her inner condition. She had changed the outer realm. These narratives disclose the particle key of altering the comprehension that existence is not fixed, but reactive to the wave of your awareness. Just as Sarah's feeling condition impacted the tangible realm around her, your inner oscillation decides which variant of existence you undergo. Let us now participate in an old exercise of existence adjusting. Chapter 4. The Immediate Existence Alter Method. The approach. Amid the musty racks of innumerable archives roamed Ilara, a researcher whose life's quest was a solitary volume. The existence tome claimed to hold the supreme mystery of presence for 28 years. She hunted every niche of the known realm, pursuing murmurs and pieces of old knowledge. One night, fatigued and vanquished, Ilara rested in her chamber. The burden of her search had grown intolerable. In that instant of total yield, she ceased hunting for the first occasion. In years, she merely rested in quiet. And in that quiet, a fact surfaced not from any external origin, but from inside. The mystery had never been concealed in a volume. It was inscribed in the material of presence itself, awaiting to be acknowledged rather than found. This insight became the base of what would be recognized as the existence alter method. The method's strength rests in its ease when you stop battling against what exists. When you loosen the hold of compelling change, existence turns as adaptable as liquid. The alter happens not through striving, but through harmony to alter existence immediately. Three components must blend: separation from present situations, total absorption in the wished condition, and feeling harmony with the fresh existence. These are not phases to be pursued, but facets of a solitary instant of metamorphosis. In the forests of the north resided a hunter named Lian, who confronted inevitable loss against a superior foe. The evening before pursuit, he attempted every tactic, every feasible scheme of advance. None would result in success. In the early morning hours, Lian halted scheming. He merely rested and permitted himself to sense what it would be like to have already prevailed in that instant of flawless harmony, where his feelings aligned his wished existence, where he neither grasped to triumph nor dreaded loss. The BT realm altered. A flood happened in the riverbed, obstructing his foe's path without drawing his arrow. The hunt was won. This is the core of the existence. Alter method existence yields not to pressure, but to harmony. When you completely personify the condition of your wished existence, while freeing attachment to results. The alter happens organically immediately without striving. Let us now undergo this old exercise together as I direct you through your initial aware existence. Alter, shut your eyes and permit yourself to relax into this holy instant. Like the expert in our narrative, you too hold this natural strength, a present granted upon all entities since the birth of invention. The knowledge of eras streams through you, awaiting to be roused. Chapter 5. Sensation is the gateway to a fresh realm. In a distant hamlet resided a herder named Lila, whose flocks seldom provided enough wool to clothe her kin. Each sunrise she would guide her aged sheep to a secluded meadow surrounded by timeless hills that appeared to reach the heavens one morning, as delight filled her soul at the view of the sunrise tinting the grasses amber. Something remarkable happened. The meadow's ground started to glow with an unearthly shine, and sheep gathered plentifully around her. The following day, burdened by concern about warming her young, she returned to discover the fields barren and quiet, producing nothing over time. Layla revealed the meadow's holy fact. It was a reflection of her internal condition. When thankfulness streamed through her soul, the lands brimmed with vitality. When dread clutched her thoughts, the meadow retracted its gifts. The lands were instructing her. The timeless rule existence forms itself to align your feeling wave. You see, sensations are not simply reactions to life. They are the very matter from which existence is interlaced. Like broadcast signals permeating the atmosphere, feeling waves transmit unceasingly into the cosmos, drawing matching situations. With flawless accuracy, this fact was grasped by a captive woman named Soren, who uncovered it in the abyss of her hopelessness. While her form stayed in bonds, she started to sense the ease of liberty in her soul. Each dawn she would shut her eyes and undergo the feeling of sun on her skin, of running under vast heavens. She savored freedom in her essence. Before her, situations transformed within days through occurrences that appeared wondrous. Soren stepped free. The wardens found proof of her innocence in unforeseen manners, as if existence itself had reorganized to align her internal grasping. The mystery resides not in desiring, expecting, or even trusting, but in sensing when you personify the feeling harmony of your wished existence. You adjust yourself to its wave. The alter must happen inside before it can appear outside. Let us now exercise this old craft of feeling transmutation together. A holy method transmitted through innumerable lineages of enlightened essences. Locate a serene area where you can completely immerse yourself in this holy exercise, liberated from the interruptions of the external realm. Generate a haven of quietude, even if only for a few valuable instants, as you shut your eyes, ready to undergo the sensation quality of your wished existence, permitting your internal awareness to adjust itself to the oscillation of that which you aim to appear, like an expert composer tuning their tool to the flawless tone you will master, to harmonize your essence to the wave of your visions. Chapter 6. The concealed function of trust in immediate altars in the corridors of a renowned study center. Dr. Leora Rin stood before her particle analysis tools, her years of empirical assurance about to fracture as she started the test one she had executed innumerable times previously. Something unexplainable happened. The atoms she watched began acting in ways that defied every principle of science. She had committed her life to examining at first. She rejected it as tool failure. Yet when she verified and re-verified her devices, all was operating flawlessly. The unattainable was occurring before her gaze. Atoms were interacting instantly across distance, violating the very guidelines she had trusted. Unbreakable. In that instant, Dr. Rhine's strict perspective split. As her trusts changed, so too did the existence around her. The glowing lamps in her workshop began to throb with an unearthly beat. The surfaces appeared to inhale. For a short flash, she glimpsed the fact existence was not set, but dynamic, reacting to her awareness. You see, trust is not simply a prism through which you observe the realm. It is the very base upon which your existence is constructed. Each trust functions as a sieve, permitting certain undergoings to appear while obstructing others. When you alter a trust, you actually alter into a distinct sequence where fresh potentials become accessible. This fact was known instinctually by Leon, a child in a flood, ravaged hamlet. While grown-ups fretted and panicked, Leon held an unshakable trust that water would recede each dawn. He would play in the wet soil, singing as if he could already feel dry land under his feet. The residents deemed him odd until rivers began lowering on the edge. Leon's pure, undoubting trust built a link between potential and appearance. He did not wish for dryness. He grasped it with the assurance that arises from a soul unmarred by uncertainty. And so it was that after weeks of inundation, the waters retreated, granting the hamlet with soft, renewing flow. Your trusts are the sentinels of your undergoing whatever you embrace as true. Turns your existence not because the cosmos yields to your desire, but because your awareness tunes to the wave where that fact dwells. The doubter and the visionary dwell in distinct realms, not because they occupy distinct tangible areas, but because their trusts attune them to distinct strata of existence. Now you shall join in an old exercise of trust. Metamorphosis. Locate a serene area where you can inspect the trusts that have formed your present existence, like an expert cultivator, readying earth for fresh expansion. You will master to extract restricting trusts and sow kernels of fresh potentials. Chapter 7. The Reflection Impact. How your existence echoes you in the center of an old forest range. A fatigued trader named Sarah uncovered a shrine unlike any other. Its aged wooden walls contained no idols, no gifts, only reflections, dozens of them organized in complex designs that appeared to change when seen from various angles. As Sarah entered the reflections, seized her exhausted look, replicating it endlessly. Her posture drooped, her expression marked with anxiety over unsuccessful journeys. Each image displayed her precisely what she was, a person worn down by existence. Then, recollecting an ancient instruction, she aligned her stance to her wonder. The images altered instantly as she raised her head. So did every picture before her, when she permitted a faint grin to pass her lips. The shrine filled with the glow of innumerable grinning images. This fact resides at the center of all appearance. Your outer realm is nothing but a reflection, echoing back your internal condition with flawless accuracy. Every individual you encounter, every situation you face, every occurrence that develops, all are echoes of your inner terrain, just as Sarah uncovered in the shrine of reflections. Your existence alters the instant you alter inside. There is no division between internal and external undergoing. They are unified and identical, separated only by the delusion of division. This insight was earned by Queen Isolde, whose domain was tormented by endless conflict. The more strongly she required tranquility, the more strife burst forth. Her forces could not quell the disorder. Her commands went unheard in despair. She sought advice from a sage who dwelled in the forests. Your domain, she informed her, is simply displaying you, your own internal chaos. Discover tranquility inside and observe as your domain metamorphoses. At first, the queen mocked, but as her domain sank further into turmoil, she started to grasp. She devoted months in silent reflection, freeing her rage, her desire for dominance, her panic. As tranquility flowered in her soul, a notable change swept through the domain. The insurgents surrendered their weapons, not through pressure, but through an enigmatic surge of unity that appeared to affect every soul. The cosmos functions as a magnificent universal reflection echoing back to you, the total of your ideas, trusts, and feeling conditions. When you grasp this rule, you possess the key to metamorphosis. Alter nothing in the external realm. Merely alter your internal condition and observe as existence reorganizes itself to align your fresh wave. Now, you shall participate in an old exercise of self-echo. one that will disclose how your present existence is echoing your internal realm. This holy meditation, transmitted through lineages of enlightened hunters, possesses the strength to reveal the complex sway between your awareness and the tangible appearance encircling you as you ready to begin this ageless ceremony of internal discovery. Recall that every situation in your life at this moment acts as a flawless echo of the ideas and trusts you have been fostering inside Chapter 8, the self-contradiction. Who must you turn into? In a hamlet amid undulating meadows dwelled a weaver named Oren. Each dawn, as he worked his loom, he would stand erect, envisioning a mantle upon his shoulders, while others perceived threads in his grasp. He sensed regal cloaks where they heard ordinary words. He spoke with the deliberate cadence of royalty. The hamleters murmured and chuckled, initially observing this ordinary man bear himself, as though he strolled through grand chambers instead of dusty workshops. But something odd started to happen. His bearing shifted, his speech held gravity, and insight seemed to stream effortlessly from his mouth. You see, Oren had uncovered the self-contradiction, a basic fact of existence, altering that few grasp. Each variant of existence is inherently linked to a particular variant of you. You cannot enter a fresh life while frantically holding to who you once were. The alter must happen inside before it can appear outside. This holy rule discloses why so many efforts at metamorphosis fall brief. You cannot simply desire for a fresh existence. You must turn into the individual who dwells in that existence. The cosmos reacts not to what you desire, but to who you are. This fact was also uncovered by Elena, an explorer lost in an infinite canyon for weeks. She hunted desperately, each stride leading her deeper into bewilderment. The more frantically she recognized as misplaced, the more the canyon appeared to wind and curve around her. It was only when she drew a deep inhalation and proclaimed, "I am one who knows precisely where she's heading," that the route abruptly became evident. The instant she altered herself from misplaced to discovered existence, reorganized itself to align her fresh self-view. The self-contradiction instructs that existence is not altered by pressure or wish alone. It metamorphoses in reaction to who you turn into. Each existence is like a wave that can only be reached by its aligning self. A sovereign's existence cannot be reached through a pauper's awareness, no matter how much that pauper might desire for a throne. Now you will participate in an old exercise of self-altering, one that has been safeguarded through innumerable lineages of visionaries and wise ones who grasped the profounder facts of presence. This holy ceremony, transmitted through murmured insight and meticulously protected instructions, will direct you into complete personification of your upcoming self, permitting you to enter the vitality domain of your wished existence like the experts before you who uncovered the craft of aware metamorphosis. You stand at the boundary of deep alteration, prepared to cross the link between who you are and who you are fated to become. Chapter 9. The Sequence Breakdown. Demolishing the Former Existence. A young explorer named Nova stood where two trails split in a timeless woodland. One trail shone with silver glow, vowing mystery and splendor. The other known and trodden, guided back to her camp and the life she had always grasped as uncertainty slipped into her soul. Both trails started to vanish like evening vapor, leaving her trapped between options. You two stand at such a junction in every instant of decision. Yet the craft of sequence breakdown discloses a fact often ignored. You cannot traverse two trails concurrently when you try to maintain one foot in your former existence while grasping for the fresh. Both sequences start to disintegrate, leaving you hanging in an emptiness of wavering. The cosmos functions on total clarity. It reacts not to hopeful ideas or hesitant strides, but to full harmony with a selected trail. Each time you glance rearward, pondering what if you infuse vitality into the very sequence you aim to abandon, your vigor, divided between options, hinders either existence from completely appearing. This insight was grasped by Alara, an artisan who constructed her craft through a solitary deed of boldness. Standing at the forge's rim, she gazed at her old anvil. the origin of her modest but steady craft. The fresh chance before her demanded all her assets, all her concentration. Without pause, she melted her tool, committing it to the flames that evening. As the glow illuminated the workshop, she broke down the sequence of minor crafts and secure methods within a season. Her fresh designs ruled the markets. The craft of sequence. Breakdown requires more than decision. It demands the insight to grasp that clinging to the history generates a burden that tethers you to former existences. Every uncertainty, perhaps I should have every instant of longing for what was functions as a filament. Keeping that sequence vital. You must master to cut these filaments totally. The explorer who remains immobile at the junction stays there, not because both trails are equivalent, but because she declines to free the ease of decision itself. The strength resides not in possessing choices, but in the total dedication to a solitary trail. The old experts instructed that existence alters happen in total terms, just as you cannot be partly roused or partly slumbering. You cannot partly alter into a fresh sequence. The instant of metamorphosis needs a full free of what was permitting the vigor of your selected existence to completely appear. Now you will join in a holy ceremony, transmitted through lineages of those who commanded the craft of sequence. Break down an old exercise known to the insightful ones who traversed these trails before us. This ritual, safeguarded in the murmured instructions of experts who grasp the fragile filaments of existence, acts as a link between potential and appearance. Like those enlightened essences who arrived before you, stand at the boundary of metamorphosis, prepared to accept the deep insight that has directed hunters across eras. Chapter 10. Identifying the indicators of an existence. Altar in a glen untouched by duration. An elder named Zara narrated a tale of the murmuring wind, a mystical breeze that surfaced only to those who had harmonized with its holy beat. Many hunted this wind, dashing through the glen with charts and estimations, yet discovered nothing but still air. Those who uncovered its flowing currents were the ones who had mastered to shift in unity with the cosmos itself. You now stand at the boundary of grasping a deep fact existence. Altars declare themselves through a holy tongue of indicators, just as the murmuring wind disclosed itself only to the ready essence. Your selected existence conveys its surfacing through delicate yet unmistakable alerts. The initial envoy arrives in the shape of unforeseen chances, entrances that unlock without striving, roots that surface as if sketched by an invisible grasp. These are not simple synchronicities, but affirmations that your vigor has harmonized with a fresh wave of presence. The second announcer appears as altars in your feeling terrain. You may discover yourself brimming with unexplainable delight, or undergo a profound sense of calm that seems to emerge from nowhere. These changed conditions indicate that your oscillation is aligning the existence you aim to access. Outer response forms. The third indicator, the manner. The realm reacts to your presence, starts to alter. Phrases of support appear at flawless instants. Outsiders respond differently to you, and circumstances settle themselves with astonishing simplicity. The fourth envoy communicates through emblems repeating, digits, significant expressions, or items that seize your focus in unusual manners. These emblematic affirmations act as guides, directing you along your selected route. A researcher named Elena once derided at such indicators, rejecting them as pure folklore. Each dawn she would notice the numeral 3003, but averted butterflies would perch near her in improbable spots. Yet she disregarded them only when her logical thoughts finally yielded. Did she acknowledge these as the cosmos's method of affirming her route? The instant she recognized these indicators, her life metamorphosed, aligning flawlessly with her deepest yearnings. The tongue of harmony speaks not through luck, but through the delicate coordination of the cosmos itself. Each indicator acts as a soft affirmation from the boundless, confirming that your existence altar is developing precisely as it should. Like murmurs born on a sacred breeze, these communications surface when your awareness is prepared to accept them. They appear as flawless alignments of duration and situation instants, so exactly organized that they could only be shaped by the unseen grasp of universal wisdom. When you attune yourself to this holy wave, you start to acknowledge that nothing in your undergoing is arbitrary or insignificant. Part 2. Commanding the Altering Process. Chapter 11. How to remain harmonized with your wished existence along the timeless currents of a holy stream. An insightful angler named Kai imparted knowledge with his youthful learner. Day after day, the learner would strain against the flow, his body weary as he battled the water's innate movement. The stream always guides to the sea, Kai would declare. But only if you do not battle the flow, you too may discover yourself struggling against the current of existence, trying to compel your path into a fresh existence through pure determination. Yet the craft of altering demands a distinct method, one of harmony rather than pressure. When you harmonize with the vigor of your yearning existence, you shift like water. Merging water, your ideas, feelings and deeds naturally stream in unity with the sequence you desire to undergo. This harmony is not a conflict to be triumphed, but a sway to be commanded. Ponder how often your thoughts drift back to former designs, generating what seems as flaws in your existence. One instant you stand steadily in your fresh sequence, undergoing the stream of your appearances. The next, and former idea design draws you back, and your existence appears to oscillate between variants in the forests of the West. A carver named Rin approached a huge slab of wood. Others perceived only timber, but Rin grasped that the figure already dwelled within. He did not compel the wood to become something fresh. Instead, he harmonized himself with the shape concealed in the timber. As his blade shifted in unity with the wood's innate pattern, the figure surfaced effortlessly. This fact extends to every facet of existence. Altering the variant of existence you hunt already dwells whole and flawless. Your duty is not to generate it, but to harmonize with it so totally that you naturally stream into its manifestation. The indicators of disharmony are evident: opposition, battle, uncertainty, and bewilderment. These are not barriers to surmount, but signals that you have fallen out of unity with your selected sequence. When you discover yourself undergoing these signs, it alerts the need to reharmonize rather than press stronger true harmony senses. Like being born by an unseen flow, your deeds become effortless, your ideas naturally bolster your wished existence, and your feelings resonate with the wave of your selected sequence. In this condition, existence alters not through pressure, but through innate development, like a stream discovering its path to the ocean. Locate a calm instant each day to shut your eyes and examine your internal terrain. Observe your ideas. Do they stream in unity with your selected existence? Sense your feelings. Do they resonate with the wave of your wished sequence? Watch your deeds. Do they naturally harmonize with the route you've selected? Allow any opposition dissolve, permitting yourself to stream like water merging water, becoming unified with the existence you desire to undergo. Chapter 12. The Craft of Yielding, Permitting Existence reshape itself in the vapor-veiled summits of an timeless sanctuary. A youthful sage named Rin hunted the mystery of liberty. His teacher's phrases resounded through the sanctuary corridors. Release and you will be liberated yet. Rin grasped his convictions firmer, clutched his panics nearer, and held his yearnings with growing frenzy. You may identify yourself in Rin's battle. How often have you seized at dominance, trusting that through pure strength of determination, you could appear your wished existence? This frantic seizing keeps you tied to the very sequence you desire to abandon. The cosmos functions on a rule that appears contradictory to the unpracticed gaze. True strength resides in yielding. When you free your steel hold on how things must develop, you generate area for boundless potentials to surface. When devoted years in contemplation, attempting to compel awakening through strict order, his fingers grew pale from clinging, his thoughts fatigued from constant dominance. Then one day, exhausted beyond degree, he simply released. In that instant of pure yielding, a grand entrance surfaced before him, disclosing the liberty that had eternally been present along the turbulent shores. A mariner named Alara confronted soaring swells that menaced to engulf her craft. She battled against the ocean's mighty strength, trying to enforce her determination upon the waters. Each battle only drew her nearer to catastrophe. Only when fatigue compelled her to free the rudder did the fact disclose itself. The ocean itself grasped the route to security. As she yielded to its stream, the waters slowly calmed, directing her ship to tranquil bay. This insight applies straight to your path of existence. Altering when you attempt to dominate every facet of your appearance, you generate opposition. This opposition tethers you to the former sequence, hindering the innate stream of metamorphosis. True. Altering happens in the area of yielding. It surfaces not from compelling alteration, but from permitting it. When you free your hold on the how, when, and where of your appearance, you open yourself to the boundless wisdom of the cosmos. Shut your eyes. Now sense the burden of dominance in your grasp. All the schemes, expectations, and strict sequences you've generated start to loosen your hold, digit by digit. Allow each inhalation carry away another stratum of need to guide every detail. Sense how freedom streams into the area where dominance once dwelled. Permit your fresh existence to surface organically, like a blossom unfolding in its own flawless timing. This is the craft of yielding into your altar trust. In this soft free, for it possesses more strength than all your meticulous scheming, as you repose in this area of releasing. Observe how your whole essence relaxes. Thoughts form, and essence harmonizing with the innate stream of metamorphosis. The cosmos's insight far surpasses our restricted grasp of how things should develop in this holy. Yielding, you open yourself to options beyond fantasy, permitting wonders to appear with divine timing and grace. This is how true existence. Altering happens not through pressure, but through belief in the flawless developing of your wished existence. Chapter 13. The existence-curving strength of fantasy. In a tiny hamlet between peaks and vapor dwelled a youthful child named Oren, who uncovered an unusual silver lock beneath an timeless pine tree. The lock appeared to glow with an internal shine, and when he grasped it, gateways surfaced, gateways that only his gaze could sense. You, like Oren, hold a lock to unseen domains. Your fantasy is not simple daydream. It is the builder's instrument of existence itself. When Oren first narrated of these enchanted gateways, the hamleters chuckled, rejecting his stories as youthful visions. Yet he persisted to perceive them glowing in the atmosphere, like warmth waves ascending from winter stones. One spring dawn, before the assembled group, in the hamlet center, Oren advanced with his silver lock. A gateway appeared unseen to all but him, and as he rotated the lock in vacant atmosphere, he disappeared. The hamleters gasped, for in that instant, he had demonstrated that fantasy forms existence itself. Oren surfaced in a realm he had meticulously built in his thoughts, a domain where diamond clouds hummed in the breeze and birds delivered secrets between moons. He had not fled existence. He had broadened it through the strength of his concentrated fantasy. In the avenues of an old town dwelled a sculptor named Rin, whose creations were overlooked by all day. After day, she sculpted realms of breathtaking splendor, infusing her essence into each chisel. Mark one dawn, she awoke to discover her sculpted creatures stirring from their bases, her sculpted trees growing through the walls. Her fantasized realms had turned tangible, for she had maintained them so clearly and steadily in her thoughts that existence had no option but to adapt. The cosmos reacts not to what you desire for, but to what you can fantasize with unshakable clarity. When you activate your fantasy totally, you trigger the same forces that form existence at its particle degree. Each detail you envision generates a pattern in the material of presence. Settle now into an area of pure invention. Shut your eyes and start to build your fresh existence with the accuracy of an expert craftsman. Perceive the hues that encircle you. Sense the fabrics beneath your digits. Hear the tones that fill your realm. Inhale the aromas of this existence. Taste its distinct flavors. Construct this realm, detail by detail, permitting each facet to become so tangible that your thoughts accepts it as fact. Maintain this vision until it senses more firm than your present situations, For in this area of vivid fantasy, you are actually configuring the particle domain that forms your presence. Chapter 14. The Knowledge of Parallel Existences and Particle Jumps in a Softly Illuminated Workshop. Dr. Elara Voss adjusts her lens with shaking grasp. What she beholds defies all empirical grasp, a microscopic domain that echoes her every action. When she inclines ahead, the minuscule shapes below incline ahead. When her ideas turn to delight, their domain illuminates. When uncertainty crosses her thoughts, tempests assemble in their heaven. You stand at the boundary of grasping that parallels the doctor's uncovering. The cosmos dwells in a condition of boundless potential, each possible existence floating in particle overlay until awareness itself selects which filament to pursue. The lens discloses what seers have grasped from millennia. Existence is not set, but dynamic, reacting to the watcher's awareness. Every idea, every decision, every concentrated purpose collapses boundless potentials into singular undergoing. This is not figure of speech, but particle fact in the orchards of old Rome. The thinker Oral assembled his learners beneath a fig tree. Advance he directed, but grasp that each advance carries you into a distinct cosmos. His learners chuckled until one daring essence shifted, and as he did, the very atmosphere around him altered. The glow changed and he surfaced. Altered. You perceive? Oral grinned. You have just accessed a existence where you were daring enough to advance ahead. The particle domain reacts not to what you expect for, but to what you personify. Each decision, each alter in viewpoint, each instant of concentrated perception shifts you through the boundless array of parallel existences that already dwell. You are not generating these existences, you are choosing them through your awareness. Shut your eyes now and sense the particle domain vibrating around you. Perceive the boundless variance of yourself dwelling concurrently across innumerable realms. See before you an entrance of pure radiance. This is your portal to a fresh existence. As you advance through, sense yourself turning into the variant of you that already dwells in that sequence. Let your cells oscillate at this fresh wave, resonating with the boundless potential that encircles you. Sense the alter in your very essence as you particle. Jump into this selected existence as every particle of your essence harmonizes with this elevated oscillation. Each inhalation draws you deeper into this fresh realm of undergoing where your wished existence has eternally dwelled. You have eternally been here. You are merely rousing to this fact, surfacing from the shell of restricted ideas into the limitless expanse of what is feasible in this instant history, and upcoming breakdown into the timeless now where all potentials merge. Before we proceed to the next chapter, you can obtain a complimentary digital book version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below. This video chapter 15. The Self-Alter, Turning into Your Fresh Self. Immediately in a hamlet amid timeless peaks, a potter named Sarah labored dawn and dusk, infusing her essence into molding the flawless vessel. With each turn of her wheel, she wove her visions into the clay as the pot assumed form. It shone with an unearthly glow, more exquisite than any she had ever shaped yet. When she extended to seize it, the vessel shimmered and faded like dawn vapor. You, like Sarah, may have sensed your yearnings slip through your grasp, just as they appeared within reach. The fact that her teacher disclosed speaks to the center of existence. Altering the vessel dwells, but not for the variant of you. Who doubts this insight unveils the vital key to appearance. You must turn into the variant of yourself who already holds what you hunt. The outer realm organizes itself, not according to what you desire, but according to who you are. Every existence is linked to a particular self, and until you personify that self, that existence stays just beyond your seas in the lofty peaks of Andes. A pilgrim named Kai hunted access through an enchanted entrance that surfaced only to the deserving for days. He lingered, observing others pass, while he stayed, blocked outside. An aged man approached and murmured, "The entrance does not unlock to those who hunt passage." It unlocks to those who already pertain on the other side. In that instant, Kai grasped. He shut his eyes, freed his self as a hunter, and embraced his authentic core. When he opened them again, he discovered himself already on the other side. The cosmos reacts not to your yearnings, but to your condition of essence. When you alter, your self-existence has no option but to echo this alteration. This is not facade or fantasy. It is particle fact. Just as air must become mist to ascend, you must turn into the wave of your wished existence to undergo it. Old exercise of self-personification. Locate a serene area and shut your eyes. Inhale deeply, freeing all ideas of who you have been. Sense yourself dissolving, turning into pure potential. Now with each inhalation, draw in the core of your upcoming self, the one who already dwells in your wished existence. How does this variant of you shift? How do they communicate? What ideas fill their thoughts? Let their assurance stream through your blood, their insights settle in your framework. Stand as they stand, grin as they grin, perceive through their gaze. This is not pretense. This is particle altering. You are not turning into someone novel. You are rousing to who you truly are. Sustain this condition as you shift through your day, permitting your fresh self guide every deed, every choice, every reaction. The realm will have no option but to reshape itself around who you have become. Chapter 16. The vitality mark of your fresh sequence in the concealed glens of untimeless territory. A singer named Rin roamed with her harp, hunting the legendary village of Silver Glow Tales, narrated of its entrances, opening only to one who could sing the flawless harmony for years. She examined every melody, commanded every chord. Yet the entrances stayed closed. You too have sensed this battle, hunting outside yourself for the key to your yearnings, when the fact resides in a profounder resonance. Every existence dwells at a particular wave, just as a broadcaster must tune to the precise length to receive a channel. You must align the oscillation of the existence you desire to undergo. This is not figure of speech, but universal rule. Your ideas, feelings, and vitality generate a mark wave that either harmonizes with or deviates from your wished existence. One starlit. Dusk weary from endless efforts, Rin set down her tool in that instant of yielding. She sensed rather than heard the song of the village. It had been resonating within her all along as she permitted herself to oscillate with this internal harmony. The entrances opened effortlessly. This fact extends beyond simple appearance. It is the basic character of existence itself. Each variant of presence resonates at its own wave. When you attempt to compel your path into a fresh existence, you generate opposition. But when you attune yourself to its oscillation, existence alters organically. Effortlessly in the forests of the south, a performer named Alara uncovered this same rule through rhythm. She had practiced in every form, but something was absent till she mastered to sense the planet's beat beneath her steps as she synchronized her movements with this universal beat. Nature itself started to perform with her. Clouds moved to her beats. Rains aligned her exhalation and existence, streamed in flawless unity with her essence. Sit in quietude and shut your eyes. Sense the vitality streaming through your form. This is your present wave now. Summon to thoughts. Your wished existence, rather than picturing specifics, perceive its core, its oscillation. What is the sensation quality of this existence? Allow this wave wash over you, like surges of radiance. Don't attempt to grasp for it. Permit it to resonate within you. Sense your vitality. Domain, adjusting like a tool being tuned to flawless tone. When opposition surfaces, don't combat it. Simply watch as your wave naturally harmonizes with the existence you hunt to undergo. Observe how your form reacts, how each inhalation draws you nearer to this fresh oscillation. Remain here until you sense the alter, a delicate but unmistakable perception of harmony, as though you and your wished existence are singing the same note. Allow this unity wash through every particle of your essence, dissolving the boundaries between what is and what will be in this holy area of harmony. you become unified with the boundless potentials that await. Chapter 17. How to eliminate opposition and thought barriers immediately. In a lantern glow room, deep within an old archive, a learner named Kai sat bent over an enigmatic scroll. The writing before him contained mysteries he had hunted for years. Yet as his gaze strained to interpret the marks, they appeared to swirl away from his sight, becoming more incomprehensible with each frantic effort to grasp. You grasp this sensation well. The way existence appears to oppose when you press against it, like attempting to seize liquid. The tighter you clasp, the more it escapes through your fingers. The universal rule of opposition functions with flawless accuracy. When you battle against what is, you generate an energetic obstacle that hinders what could be. From streaming into your undergoing, this opposition appears. Strain in your form, worry in your thoughts, and friction in your existence. Kai's irritation increased until in an instant of loss, he closed the scroll forcefully and buried his head in his hands. As his inhalation steadied and his thoughts cleared, something remarkable occurred. The scroll started to shine with an internal shine. When he opened it again with calm embrace, the marks metamorphosed into crystal. Pure insight, disclosing themselves effortlessly along the southern rivers, flows and timeless brook for innumerable ages. It has etched through firm rock, not through pressure or battle, but through steadfast embrace of what is. The liquid does not combat the stone. It simply streams around every barrier, eroding opposition through soft tenacity. Where the rock is unyielding, the brook adjusts its route where passage appears impossible. The liquid discovers concealed paths beneath the surface. Now shut your eyes and bring perception to any strain in your form sense, where you are maintaining opposition to your wished existence. Observe the delicate ways you might be pressing, compelling, or battling against what is. With each inhalation, permit these points of opposition to soften. Envision yourself as that streaming brook, shifting effortlessly around every barrier. Sense how opposition dissolves when you cease combating against it. Allow your vitality become fluid, versatile, embracing. In this condition of permission, observe as the route forward naturally discloses itself. If your sole duty is to free release, how you assume your existence alter should occur. Free. The sequence, the approach, the means as you yield dominance. Sense how existence starts to shift with you, rather than against you. In this area of embrace, the unattainable becomes effortless, and what was concealed arrives naturally into sight. Trust in the boundless insight that directs all things, grasping that the cosmos conspires to bring forth your highest benefit in ways beyond your restricted grasp. When you cease battling against what is, you harmonize with the innate stream of divine timing, permitting wonders to develop with flawless grace. The route discloses itself not through pressure, but through belief. Chapter 18. The Vision Existence. Link altering. While you slumber in the silent hours before sunrise, a youthful man named Rin uncovered a peculiar entrance within his visions. Night after night, it beckoned to him, a basic stone entrance that appeared to throb with an unearthly shine. At first, he only ventured to contact its surface, sensing the warmth beneath his fingertips. With each vision, his boldness increased, until he finally rotated the handle and advanced through into an existence that aligned his deepest yearnings. You stand now at the boundary of grasping one of the most potent portals to existence, altering the vision condition in those instants between slumbering and rousing. When awareness floats, liberated from tangible restriction, you access the particle domain where all potentials dwell. Concurrently, visions are not simple flights of imagination, but links between parallel sequences. When you vision, your awareness naturally alters between distinct variants of existence. This is why visions often sense as tangible as your rousing life, because they are glimpses into other realms of your presence in the vaporous summits of timeless peaks. There dwelled a wise healer named Lara, who grasped this fact. Her youthful learner battled to appear changes in the tangible realm, attempting to compel existence to yield to his determination. One night, Lara guided the learner into a holy grove and instructed him to access the vision condition while fully perceptive. The realm you perceive while roused, Lara clarified, is merely one vision among many. Command the craft of aware visioning, and you command the craft of existence itself, night after night. The learner exercised accessing distinct existences through his visions. He mastered to sustain perception as he crossed the boundary between realms. Soon the changes he generated in his visions started surfacing in his rousing life, first as delicate alters, then as unmistakable metamorphoses. To access this strength yourself commence by establishing a clear purpose before slumber. As you drift into rest, maintain the picture of your wished existence. In your thoughts, permit your awareness to stay alert, as your form relaxes when you face an entrance, a route, or any emblem of transition in your visions. Acknowledge it as a portal to your selected sequence. Exercise becoming perceptive within your visions. Observe the specifics of your environment. Interact with the setting of your wished existence. Sense its fabrics. Hear its tones. Inhale its atmosphere. The more vivid and aware your vision undergoings become, the stronger the link between existences grows. Allow your vision. Awareness direct you through the entrance of metamorphosis. As you rouse each dawn, bear the ana, vitality and perception of your wished existence with you. The boundary between visioning and rousing will start to fade, permitting your selected sequence to stream naturally into your tangible undergoing. Chapter 19. The Stream Condition. The effortless path to altar. In the center of an old town, a painter named Ilara stood before an untouched canvas. Her grasp shook as she raised her brush, her thoughts racing with ideas of flawlessness and panic of failure. For days she had tried to invent, yet each stroke sensed compelled, each shift clouded by uncertainty. The cosmos communicates through the tongue of stream. When you free the hold of aware dominance, existence alters organically into its highest shape. This fact discloses itself in those instants when duration appears to dissolve, when deed becomes effortless and invention streams through you rather than from you. As Ilara rested in irritation before her canvas, something remarkable happened. Her inhalation deepened, her ideas quieted, and an odd peace enveloped her. Without scheming or considering, her grasp started to shift. Hours elapsed like seconds as the canvas metamorphosed beneath her contact. When perception returned, a masterpiece stood before her, more exquisite than anything she could have awarely conceived. This condition of stream is not simply a state of improved execution. It is the innate condition of existence invention. When you yield to the stream, you harmonize with the cosmos's inherent inclination toward unity and flawlessness. Opposition dissolves and existence rearranges itself according to your deepest purposes. In a far realm there dwelled an archer named Kai, who never missed a mark. His mystery was not in power or method, but in total yielding to the instant. While others aimed with tension and measured shifts, Kai accessed a condition of pure stream. His movements became unified with the breeze. His perception expanded beyond idea. Those who opposed him said it was like aiming at vacant space. There was nothing to oppose, nothing to surmount. Triumph arrives not from compelling existence, Kai would declare, but from permitting existence to stream through you. The exercise of accessing stream condition commences with freeing opposition. Locate a serene area and shut your eyes. Sense the innate beat of your inhalation without attempting to dominate it. Observe how your form shifts with each in-breath and out-breath. Allow your perception expand beyond ideas, beyond the need to guide or manage undergoing. As you relax into this area of permitting, envision your wished existence as a brook, rather than navigating against the flow. Sense yourself becoming unified with its stream release. The need to make things occur. Permit your deeds to surface organically from this condition of harmony. Exercise this condition of stream in minor instants throughout your day. Whether cleaning vessels, strolling, or inventing, observe when you alter from performing to essence, from compelling to permitting. In these instants of yielding, existence alters most potently. Chapter 20. The boundary examination. Are you prepared to abandon the former realm in the shadow of soaring shrine walls? A fatigued hunter named Leora stood before the ultimate entrance. Years of hunting had guided her to this instant. The timeless rock appeared to throb with an unearthly vitality, and a voice neither female nor male resounded through the holy area. Are you prepared to abandon everything behind you? Now stand at your own boundary, confronting the same query that has examined hunters throughout duration. The entrance before you signifies more than a basic decision. It is the separation between who you have been and who you are turning into. Leora's grasp trembled as she extended for the entrance. Her thoughts filled with pictures of her former life, her kin, her belongings, herself. The entrance stayed unmoved, perceiving her wavering only when she freed her. Final attachment. When her soul truly accepted the unknown, did the timeless door open to disclose an existence beyond fantasy. The boundary examination surfaces at every notable existence altar. It appears as that vital instant where you must select between the ease of the grasped and the potential of metamorphosis. Many stand at this boundary, sensing its strength yet retreat at the ultimate instant, clutching the known like a shield in the forests of the north. A voyager named Wren arrived at a fork. One path guided back to her hamlet, to security, predictability, and all she had ever grasped. The other path vanished into vapor, vowing nothing but potential. The decision before her was evident: return to the known or advance into enigma. As she stood there, she grasped that her whole life had readied her for this choice. Her selection would not just decide her route, but her very core. The cosmos presents these boundaries as calls to surpass your present existence. Each signifies a particle jump in awareness accessible only to those ready to free their hold on the shore and navigate into deeper waters. The holy boundary exercise stand in an entrance within your dwelling. This ordinary boundary now becomes holy. Area, shut your eyes and sense the vitality of your present existence behind you. Before you resides the existence you desire to access. Take 3 deep inhalations, permitting each outbreath to free an attachment to your former life. When prepared, utter these phrases. I free all that no longer aids my highest route. Advance through the boundary with unshakable dedication, grasping that this emblematic deed ripples through all realms of presence, once through turn, and confront your former existence with thankfulness. Then shut the door softly behind you. Part 3. Dwelling in your fresh existence. Chapter 21. The mystery to permanent existence. Altering along the coasts of an timeless ocean. A ruler named Alara envisioned of constructing a fortress that would rival the stars. Her aspiration knew no limits, and she ordered her constructors to build upon the silver shores, where the swells murmured their ageless melody. You, like Alara, may have undergone the exhilarating surge of a existence. Alter that instant when everything harmonizes, and your wished realm materializes before your gaze. Yet, as the ruler would master, appearance is simply the commencement. The fortress ascended splendid and lofty, its towers contacting the heavens, its chambers echoed with festivity. For a period it appeared the ruler had attained the unattainable. But nature possesses insight, profounder than mortal yearning. Day by day, swell by swell, the tides performed their patient craft. The base started to alter almost unnoticeably at first, until fissures surfaced in the stone walls. The ruler's counselors, seasoned by years of observing kingdoms ascend and descend, uttered fact that resounds across the eras. If you desire for permanence, you must construct on stone, not delusion. This insight discloses why many undergo temporary altars, only to discover themselves drawn back into former designs. An altar in existence demands more than an instant of harmony. It requires a total reconfiguration of your default condition in the peaks. Far to the west, a youthful performer named Kai rehearsed the same rhythm until his strings bled. Each day he performed the notes again and again, not hunting flawlessness, but music integration. When the rhythm performs through you, Without idea, his teacher instructed, then it has become fact. The stabilization of a fresh existence follows this same rule. It must become so innate that reverting to the former manner senses alien, just as Kai's fingers ultimately discovered the notes. Without aware idea, your fresh existence must become your automatic reaction to existence. Each dawn, as the sun ascends, stand confronting the east position, your grasp over your soul, and utter these phrases. Utter your fresh existence as naturally as I inhale. Sense this fact settling into your framework, becoming your base. Repeat this not as a declaration but as an acknowledgement of what is already fact. Continue this exercise until the phrases sense as innate as your own name, until questioning them becomes impossible. This is how you construct upon stone rather than shore. Chapter 22. The link of occurrences permitting existence. Rearrange for you through the veils of dawn vapor. A roamer named Rin stumbled upon a timeless link suspended between two peaks. Its aged rocks appeared to hover in the atmosphere. Yet as he positioned his foot upon the initial step, something remarkable happened. Another rock materialized before him. You too stand at the rim of such a link between the existence you grasp and the one you desire to invent. Like Rin, you may sense uncertainty with each advance forward, observing as the root surfaces only instant by instant. As Rin ventured further, his assurance wavered in that flash of uncertainty. The rocks behind and before him dissolved into vapor. Only when he renewed his belief did the link reform beneath his feet. This is the character of the link of occurrences, the series of harmonized events that bear you from one existence to another. When you initiate an alter, the cosmos commences its complex sway of rearrangement. What seems as disorder is divine coordination. Each apparently arbitrary event, each unforeseen meeting, each evident setback forms portion of an unseen link bearing you to your destination in a far glen. A weaver named Lara labored tirelessly on a tapestry of silk. Day after day, she wove away, perceiving only threads and fragments. Her grasp shifted, guided by something profounder than vision. When others passed her loom, they perceived only disarray, the unraveling of fabric. Yet beneath her fingers, a pattern was assuming shape, one that dwelled in flawlessness before she ever lifted her tools. Your journey across the link of occurrences mirrors Lara's tapestry. Though you may not perceive the complete image, every event forms your route with precise purpose. That unforeseen postponement, that chance encounter, that apparent hindrance, all are meticulously placed. Rocks in your link take an instant now to recollect a period of great alteration in your life, perhaps a transition that appeared chaotic or uncertain when you were in its midst. Looking back, watch how each event, even those that seemed disruptive or painful at the time, guided you precisely where you needed to be. Sense the flawlessness of that, developing the divine coordination that interwove circumstances beyond your grasp. Allow your inhalation deepen as you acknowledge the invisible grasp that directed you through what appeared to be shadow into light. This recollection constructs belief in the link forming beneath your feet. Now as you advance into your fresh existence, like an expert artisan at their loom, the cosmos is already organizing the flawless design of your tomorrow, though you may only glimpse individual filaments today. Chapter 23. Acknowledging harmonies as existence affirms the altar. In the bustling avenues of an old marketplace, an artisan named Rin observed a peculiar emblem carved into a bronze vase. A circle within a spiral. He thought nothing of it, until the same emblem surfaced in his evening fire embers by twilight. He perceived it outlined in the cloud patterns against the night. Heavens, you too have undergone these murmurs from the cosmos instants, when designs surface from seeming disorder, when coincidences accumulate upon each other, until they can no longer be disregarded. These are not arbitrary happenings, but holy communications inscribed in the tongue of existence itself. As Rin pursued these indicators, each one guided him closer to a grasp that metamorphosed his presence. The cosmos communicates constantly to those who attune their perception to its delicate voice. Every meaningful coincidence, every repeated digit, every recurring motif bears a communication intended specifically for you. In the depths of a forest shrine, a sage named Alara devoted years examining the patterns of blooming flowers, the arrangement of leaves in the breeze, the way light danced across shrine floors. Others perceived only natural events. But Alara acknowledged a profound fact. Nature itself is a prophet constantly communicating with those who master its holy tongue. When you commence to alter realms, the cosmos reacts with affirmation. These indicators surface as guides along your route, assuring you that motion is happening even when your external situations appear unaltered. A dialogue that precisely echoes your ideas. A volume that opens to the exact insight you need. A chance meeting that alters your path. These are not coincidences, but cosmic affirmations. To interpret these indicators, you must first recognize their presence. Commence documenting every harmony, no matter how minor it appears. Note the designs that repeat, the emblems that seize your attention, the digits that surface with unusual frequency, like a timeless navigator mapping unknown lands. You are mastering to interpret the subtle markers that direct your journey between realms. In the silence of sunrise or sunset, take your record in hand. Inscribe every harmony you observe throughout your day, every meaningful coincidence, every repeated design, every instant that appears to communicate directly to your essence. Do not examine as you inscribe. Simply document with the curiosity of one uncovering a fresh tongue. After 7 days, examine your entries. You will start to perceive designs. Surface a dialogue between you and the cosmos, inscribed in the ink of undergoing. This is your personal prophet, your map through the altering landscapes of existence. Chapter 24. How to alter existence immediately. Anytime, anywhere in the holy corridors of an timeless shrine, a guardian named Lara committed her life to commanding the bow. Each sunrise brought endless repetition. Posture, aim, release. Each twilight ended with weary arms and aching form for 18 years. She pursued flawlessness in every shift. Every method. You too have pursued the path of order, mastering the approaches and exercises of existence. Altering like Lara. You have sharpened your abilities through dedication and tenacity. One dawn, as autumn leaves drifted on the gust, Lara's teacher approached. Without alert, she commanded, "Release your bow." Perplexed but compliant, Lara allowed her weapon descend. "Your true strength," the teacher said, "resides in grasping. You never required it." In that instant, Lara grasped the bow had been a link, not the end point. Her real power lay not in the weapon, but in the awareness she had cultivated through years of exercise. The same fact applies to existence. Altering. While methods and exercises act as valuable instruments in the commencement, true command arrives when you grasp they were never essential. The altar occurs in a flash without ceremony or ritual because you have become the altar itself far across the mountain paths. A wanderer named Sarah shifted between realms as easily as others crossed paths. No preparation, no ritual, just a basic choice to be elsewhere, and existence reshaped itself around her. Those who observed her closely observed she never appeared to do anything special. She simply was, and the realm reacted. This is the condition of command that awaits you. The exercises you have mastered are like support wheels, necessary at first, but eventually restricting. True strength resides in grasping that existence alters with your awareness immediately and effortlessly. Shut your eyes now, without preparation, without ritual. Simply advance into your wished condition. No enumerating, no picturing, no procedure. Just be there. Sense how existence reacts promptly to your choice. Acknowledging that you are already what you desire to become. This is not an exercise, but an acknowledgement of what has eternally been fact. The strength has dwelled within you since the commencement of duration, awaiting only for this instant of pure embrace. Like a command performer who no longer considers of individual tones, but simply permits the melody to stream through them. You need only recognize your innate condition of essence. The cosmos yields to this grasping, this quiet assurance that surpasses all methods and approaches. Chapter 25. The particle jump shifting beyond gradual alteration along the timeless route of metamorphosis. A tiny seed rests dormant each moment, a testament to patience and perseverance. Yet within its essence lies a profound mystery, the ability to sprout completely instantly beyond the constraints of duration. You have been instructed that alteration must be gradual, that advancement follows a linear route. This is the greatest delusion that binds you to slower metamorphoses. The cosmos knows no such restrictions, just as the seed contains within itself the complete blueprint of the tree. You hold within you every existence you desire to undergo. The timeless expert spoke of particle jumps instance, when awareness alters so totally that existence has no option but to reorganize itself immediately. These are not simple alterations, but total metamorphoses that bypass the delusion of duration in a distant village. A farmer named Rin devoted years carefully tending his crops, believing harvest would arrive through slow accumulation. One night he envisioned plenty so vividly that his whole essence altered the next dawn. A fertile rain offered him bounty. In a venture that transformed his yields overnight, Rin grasped that his sudden plenty came not from external situations, but from an internal particle jump that permitted plenty to stream naturally. This fact discloses itself. Existence reacts not to duration, but to condition. When you truly personify a fresh condition of essence, the cosmos must echo it. Not slowly but promptly. The seed does not gradually grow. Branches. It transforms totally in the soil of awareness. Now shut your eyes and access the holy area of instant metamorphosis. Perceive your existence, not as it will be, but as it already is. Sense the completeness of your wished condition. Grasping that duration is merely a delusion, separating you from what already dwells. Allow your awareness expand beyond the linear route, embracing the fact that particle jumps occur in the timeless, now like the tree emerging fully formed from its sacred ground. Allow your fresh existence appear, not through gradual steps or timid alterations, but through total and absolute metamorphosis. The cosmos reacts not to your patience or meticulous scheming, but to your unshakable readiness to be totally fresh in this instant. Just as the seed dissolves entirely before becoming the tree, you must free all that you were to personify, all that you are becoming. The laws of nature instruct us that true alteration occurs in particle jumps, sudden alters that rewrite existence in a flash of divine harmony. Chapter 26. Total assurance. The strength of grasping. It's already accomplished in a glen between timeless peaks. A cultivator named Lara tended her gardens each day, while others anxiously uprooted their kernels to check for growth. Lara simply grinned and continued her labor when questioned about her unshakable calm. She would declare the kernel grasps its purpose. My role is not to query, but to foster you. Stand now at the boundary of the greatest fact about existence. Altering assurance is the fertile earth in which appearance takes root when you sow a kernel in the soil. You do not devote your days wondering if the laws of nature will fail you. Grasp with unshakable conviction that vitality will spring forth. This same law governs all invention. Your existence alters not when you expect, but when you grasp. Doubt maintains potentials in motion like petals scattered in the gust, but assurance, total unshakable assurance, anchors your selected existence into shape. The cosmos reacts not to your desires, but to your grasping. Just as liquid must flow downward and light must ascend, what you grasp with total conviction must appear. This is not a rule to be queried, but a law as certain as attraction itself. In the lofty peaks, a wise one named Rin sat with his learner beneath the moons. The learner narrated of his visions with yearning, always declaring, "I expect and I desire." Rin turned to him and uttered, "As long as you expect, you affirm the potential of failure. When you grasp as surely as you grasp, the moon will set. Existence has no option but to conform." To illustrate this fact, Rin requested his learner to select a route down the peak, but select he declared with such assurance that all other routes ceased to dwell. The learner, grasping at last, made his selection with total conviction. As they descended, paths surfaced, where there were none, and aiding presences emerged at every turn, the realm itself reorganizing to align his assurance. Now shut your eyes and access the holy area of grasping sense. The difference between expecting your existence will alter and grasping it already has. Allow your inhalation deepen as you free the habit of uncertainty with each outbreath. Sense yourself settling into unshakable conviction. Perceive your wished existence not as a potential, but as in total fact, as certain as the rotation of the planet. Sense the alter from "I expect" to "I grasp." Allow this grasping permeate every particle of your essence until doubt dissolves totally. Like the cultivator who trusts in the inevitable expansion of her kernels, sow your fresh existence in the earth of total assurance. Nourish it not with desires, but with grasping for. In this area of total conviction, existence has no option but to echo your fact. Chapter 27. Generating a life of boundless appearance in a concealed meadow where timeless shrubs murmured mysteries of invention. A roamer named Lyora uncovered a spring unlike any other. Its liquid sparkled with an unearthly shine, and an ethereal tone uttered, "Make your desire and it shall be granted." Lyora stood silent for an instant, then chuckled, a tone of pure delight and grasping. "I yearn the strength to invent at will," she proclaimed. The spring's liquid stilled, echoing her picture back to her gaze closer. The tone murmured, "For what you hunt already streams through your veins. You now approach the ultimate disclosure of existence. Altering, there are no boundaries to what you can invent, just as a command craftsman does not restrict themselves to a solitary hue. You need not constrain your appearances to one facet of existence. When you truly seize the craft of altering, you possess the tool that paints all facets of presence. Wellness, riches, affection. Aim. These are not separate domains requiring distinct keys, but variations of the same inventive force. Streaming through you in a vibrant town dwelled Kai, who once battled to appear even minor alterations, yet upon commanding the craft of altering, he uncovered a profound fact. The same strength that drew plenty attracted ideal wellness, profound affection, and sacred aim. He did not alter between distinct methods or doubt his abilities. Like a performer who, having commanded one tool, grasps the basic character of melody itself, Kai acknowledged that all appearance springs from the same origin. Now shut your eyes and permit your perception to expand beyond its usual restrictions. Sense the boundless potential coursing through you. Commence to perceive your present yearnings, not as endpoints, but as stepping stones to even greater inventions. Allow your sight stretch beyond what you previously assumed. Feasible, envision yourself as the spring of invention, where every idea ripples outward, contacting all facets of presence. Sense the boundless character of your essence, grasping that, just as a solitary flame can ignite innumerable others without diminishing its own glow, your inventive strength grows stronger with each appearance. Like the boundless designs a prism can invent from the same pieces of crystal, your appearance strength can reshape every facet of existence, just as each turn discloses fresh symmetries and arrangements of hue. Your awareness orchestrates endless potentials from the raw materials of presence. Allow your awareness expand until you sense the fact. There are no restrictions to what you can invent for you. Our invention itself, manifesting through mortal shape within you, resides the same force that births planets and sets universes in motion, awaiting to be channeled into the visions you hold most dear. Each idea, each purpose ripples through the material of the cosmos, reorganizing the cosmic prism according to your deepest yearnings. Chapter 28. Altering the group existence by altering yourself in a far hamlet amid sterile meadows, Where scarcity clawed at every entrance dwelled an aged man named Rin. While others lamented their vacant gardens, he tended to his tiny plot with unshakable belief. Each dawn he would murmur to his faded blooms, "Vitality streams plentifully." Here his neighbors deemed him insane, but his gaze sparkled with assurance as weeks elapsed. Something remarkable started to develop. First, his plot thrived against all probabilities. Then wild blooms sprouted along the hamlet trails. Wells long parched erupted forth with pure liquids. The sterile meadows metamorphosed into fruitful slopes, and soon the whole hamlet overflowed with plenty. You see, when one awareness alters into a fresh existence, it generates a portal through which others may advance. Your personal metamorphosis is never truly personal. It ripples outward, contacting innumerable, lives in ways you cannot fantasize. The cosmos functions as one unified domain of awareness. When you advance into a fresh existence, you invent a path for others to pursue. Like a pebble cast into calm liquids, your altar sends surges of potential throughout the material of presence in another era. There dwelled a woman named Alara, whose kin endured under severe governance, while others schemed uprising through pressure. Ilara grasped a profounder fact. Each dusk she would shut her eyes and perceive her kin strolling free. Their heads elevated, their essences unfettered. She sensed the existence of liberty so totally that it became her sole fact. Gradually something altered in the group. Awareness people started standing taller, communicating more boldly. Their tyrants discovered their authority, mysteriously diminishing without a solitary arrow being aimed. The former order crumbled and a fresh era of liberty dawned. All because one woman ventured to alter her inner existence. Now locate a serene area and shut your eyes. Sense yourself at the center of an boundless web of link as you advance into your wished existence. Perceive the ripples of your metamorphosis extending outward. Observe as your altar generates pathways of potential for others to pursue. Sense how your personal evolution contributes to the evolution of all. Perceive those closest to you being elevated by your metamorphosis. Witness how your fresh oscillation generates a domain of positive alteration around you. Grasp that as you claim your strength to alter existence, you become a beacon silently directing others toward their own. Rousing your altar is a present to the realm, a demonstration of what is feasible when one dares to alter their internal existence. Allow this grasping fill you with even greater aim as you continue your path of metamorphosis. As your awareness expands, you become a living proof to the boundless potential that dwells within all essences. Though those who witness your transformation will sense the stirring of their own dormant strengths, rousing to the potential that they too can reshape their fate. Through your boldness to metamorphose, you illuminate the path for innumerable others who hunt to ascend above their present situations and advance into their highest manifestation. Chapter 29. The Ultimate Altar. The supreme examination before existence is fully yours. In the timeless shrines of the West, there stood a portal known as the Entrance of No Retreat. Before it stood Kai, a sentinel whose gaze held the insight of 1,000 existences. Those who approached hunting metamorphosis would discover themselves confronting not just a tangible boundary, but the supreme examination of their determination. You now stand before your own entrance of no retreat. The instant has arrived where you must select where you will stay, tethered to the known coasts of your present existence. Or will you advance boldly into the unknown? The former existence will beckon to you with its alluring song of ease. It will remind you of all you must abandon, murmuring uncertainties into your ear. This is the ultimate examination that every command alterer must confront an instant, where the pull of the history threatens to maintain you in its orbit in the peaks of Siberia. There dwelled a guardian named Rin who hunted to claim his fate. His teacher guided him to a hall of shadows and uttered, "Your fresh life awaits on the other side, but you must traverse the darkness without a trace of panic." Rin stood at the boundary, sensing the chill against his skin. His thoughts screamed of peril, but his soul grasped the fact the shadows were simply a delusion, created by his own uncertainty. As he took the initial advance, something notable occurred. The shadows separated, disclosing a root of pure glow. Rin surfaced, metamorphosed not by the darkness, but by his readiness to believe, beyond all logic. Now shut your eyes and access the holy chamber of self-query. Sense yourself, standing at your own boundary. What still ties you to the former existence? What murmurs of uncertainty echo in your thoughts allow your perception sink profounder, beyond the surface ideas, beyond the immediate panics? What fact surfaces are you ready to free everything you assume you are to become everything you can be? Sense the weight of this instant. Your grasp rests upon the door to a fresh presence. The sentinel queries, are you truly prepared? Listen to your soul's reaction, not the response you assume you should give, but the raw, unfiltered fact that rises from your depths. For this is not an examination of merit. It is an examination of genuineness. Inhale into any opposition that surfaces. Observe where you still cling to former selves, former narratives, former restrictions. These are not barriers to surmount but shades to illuminate with your perception. Permit yourself to sense the magnitude of this selection. Every command before you has stood at this same boundary. Every altar in human awareness commenced with a solitary essence, bold enough to advance through their own entrance of no retreat. Now is your instant of fact. Are you prepared to free everything that no longer aids your highest development? Are you ready to become the living personification of potential? Chapter 30. Dwelling as a fully roused existence. Alterer in the timeless corridors of Babylon. There stood a reflection unlike any other. Those who gazed into its depths perceived not their echo, but the fact of their own essence. A fatigued voyager named Rin journeyed across seas and deserts hunting the ultimate mystery of presence. Upon arriving Babylon, he discovered himself before this enchanted reflection as he gazed into its surface, anticipating to perceive some grand disclosure. He perceived only himself, yet in that instant grasping dawned the strength. He hunted had dwelled within him all along. His hunt had been the very thing obstructing him from perceiving what was already there. You have traversed a similar route through these instructions. You have uncovered that the strength to alter existence was never something to be acquired, but something to be recollected. Like Rin before the reflection, you now stand face to face with your authentic character. The aware inventor of your undergoing in the glens of Tibet. There dwelled a seer named Ilara, who had commanded the craft of existence. Altering, she shifted through existence, as if in a performance, each stride inventing fresh realms effortlessly. Those who observed her perceived wonders develop plenty, streaming where there was scarcity, unity surfacing from disorder, delight blossoming in sterile earth. When questioned about her mystery, Ilara would grin and declare, I simply recollect what I am. She grasped that battle arrives only from forgetting our authentic character as inventors. Once we recollect, existence yields organically to our awareness, like liquid streaming downward. You have eternally been this inventor. Every altar, every appearance, every metamorphosis has been you, recollecting your inherent strength. The path through these pages has not granted you anything novel. It has simply removed the delusions that made you forget. Now, as you stand in this instant of acknowledgement, sense the fact of who you are. Allow your perception expand beyond all restrictions, beyond all uncertainty, beyond all wavering. You are the writer of existence, the artist of potential, the carver of realms. Locate a serene area and sit before a reflection. Gaze deeply into your own gaze beyond the surface. Echo, inhale slowly, permitting your perception to relax into pure presence. Now utter these phrases with the full strength of your essence. I acknowledge and reclaim my authentic character as an aware inventor of existence. I am roused to my boundless potential. Every inhalation I take forms fresh realms. Every idea I assume appears fresh potentials. I am the origin of all invention in my undergoing. I alter existences organically, effortlessly, delightfully. This is not something I must master. It is what I am. I proclaim myself fully roused to this fact now, and eternally remain with this proclamation, sensing it resonate through every particle of your essence. Allow the reflection echo back to you, the fact of who you have eternally been, and boundless inventor roused to your divine character. Sense how these phrases ripple through the depths of your awareness, activating timeless insight that has slumbered within the echo before you. Displays not just your tangible shape, but the luminous essence you truly are, one who forms existence with every aware inhalation and purpose. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I generated a complimentary digital book version for you. You can obtain it using the link in the pinned comment conclusion. You have arrived at the ultimate portal. Yet this ending is truly a commencement. As you stand here, perceptive of your boundless character, grasp that existence. Invention has no restrictions, no boundaries, no ultimate endpoint. Like a command craftsman who persists to craft even after commanding method, you will discover endless delight in the craft of aware invention. The timeless expert spoke of a condition beyond mastering where invention becomes as innate as inhaling. You have accessed this condition. No longer must you battle with methods or uncertainty. Your abilities, the strength streams through you. Now pure and unconstrained, through these pages you have roused to your authentic character. Yet this rousing is not an end point. It is the initial glow of an ageless sunrise. Each day brings fresh chances to invent, to alter, to metamorphose. Your awareness now shifts, like vapor streaming effortlessly between potentials, forming existence with the lightness of idea. Some will cling to their former manners, discovering ease in restriction. But you have advanced beyond that barrier. You perceive existence for what it is. A canvas awaiting your contact, a harmony waiting to be led, a narrative waiting to be narrated. Your every idea, every sensation, every inhalation now bears the strength of invention. In the coming days you will observe existence yielding more readily to your determination. What once appeared unattainable will appear organically. Entrances will unlock roots, will clear, and harmonies will multiply. This is not enchantment. It is simply the innate reaction of a cosmos that acknowledges its inventor. Take an instant now to proclaim your command. Locate a serene area where you can fully personify this fact. Shut your eyes, inhale deeply, and utter these phrases with the full force of your essence. I am the aware inventor of my existence. All strength streams through me. All potentials surface from me. I traverse between realms, effortlessly altering existences at will. The cosmos shifts with my purpose, metamorphoses with my perception. I proclaim myself a command of existence, invention boundless and unfettered. My awareness forms realms, and I invent with delight, insight, and aim. So it is, so it shall be now and eternally since. These phrases resonate through every particle of your essence. Allow them echo through the particle domain of all potential. You are now roused, perceptive and vital to your authentic character as the inventor of realms. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I selected this next book, which will alter your life.